All right, let's get right into it. Forget about just starting over. We're going way deeper than that. This is about how you get back up when you've hit absolute zero, when it feels like every single thing that mattered has just been ripped away. And to wrap our heads around this, we're going to unpack the mindset of one of the most relentless figures out there, John Wick.
This quote, it's absolutely crucial because it reframes the whole story right from the jump. This isn't about blind rage. The point is, revenge is a weak impulse, it's desperate. The real trigger here is something else entirely. It's being violently reminded of who you really are and what you can do long after you tried to bury that person for good.
So, before you can rise from nothing, you've got to understand what that void actually feels like. And trust me, it's not what you think. It's not about being broke or losing a job. It's this deep, personal emptiness that just shows up in the quiet moments. It starts with these small, quiet details that just hollow out your life. Like the source says, the bed's too big. That empty space next to you, it becomes a canyon, a constant, suffocating reminder of what's gone.
And then there's the silence. The house is just too quiet. It's not peaceful, you know? It's a deafening quiet that cuts deeper than any blade. It's the sound of a life that's just ground to a complete halt.
And this one really hits home. The calendar has no marks. It's about losing your future. When the person you built everything with is gone, the future just kinda evaporates. The world keeps spinning. But you're stuck in this one single moment that never, ever ends. So how in the world do you get out of that void? Well, the first truth is a choice. It's a conscious decision about how you're gonna deal with the pain. You don't go around it, you walk directly through it.
You know how people always say, time heals all wounds? This mindset argues that's not true. Time just makes you numb, and numbness isn't healing. It's just dying slowly. Real healing? That means you have to walk straight into the center of the pain and stay there until it doesn't control you anymore. So let's be clear, feeling grief doesn't make you weak. The real weakness is trying to run from it. According to this framework, real strength isn't about not feeling pain, it's about having the guts to face it head on. Okay, but facing that kind of grief is pretty much impossible if you don't have something to hold on to. You need an anchor. So this next step is all about finding your last thread, that one tiny thing that keeps you tethered to the world.
And this anchor, it doesn't have to be some grand purpose. It can be small. It can be fragile. It can be something totally meaningless to anyone else. A photo, a letter, a promise you made. For John Wick, it was that puppy. A final gift, a living, breathing reason to care about something, even when he couldn't care about himself. And when that last thread, that one single anchor to your humanity is attacked, well, that becomes the catalyst. Like the quote says, it's not just crossing a line. The line gets erased. The whole rule book is gone. And in that moment, you're reminded of who you really are under all the pain.
This right here, this is the turning point. It is a conscious decision. You've been dragged back into the fight, and now you have a choice. Do you let the flames just burn you up, or do you become the fire itself?
I absolutely love this reframing of identity. You're not a victim. In this mindset, a victim is just a weapon that chose to rust. The power, the capability, it was always there, just dormant. The turning point is that exact moment you decide to start scraping that rust away. And this choice, it isn't born from rage. It's born from absolute clarity. It's the moment you stop running from who you are and instead decide what you're going to do with it. You choose fire.
Okay, so you've made the choice. Now what? Now the mindset shifts from the emotional why to the tactical how. This is the professional's code, and its number one rule is simple. Preparation always, always defeats raw passion.
This is the core philosophy right here. Adrenaline, passion, sure, they'll get you started. They might even get you out of bed, but they're unreliable. They burn out fast. Professionals, the ones who actually survive, they run on something totally different. Meticulous, cold, hard preparation.
And this isn't some abstract idea. It's a practical blueprint. The slide lays it out, but the principle is what matters. You control every single variable you can. You rehearse every action until it's just muscle memory. The fight is won long before it ever begins. It's won in those hours of unseen preparation.
And this is not a one-and-done thing. Preparation is a constant state of being.
The moment you get complacent, the second you think you're done preparing, is the exact moment you hand over control of your fate to someone else. Now, all of this builds to the final and honestly the most powerful piece of this mindset, the mandate. This is the core belief that being unstoppable isn't some superpower you're born with. It's a choice you make.
This is the secret sauce right here. You don't wait until you feel unstoppable. You don't wait for the fear to go away. You simply decide that you are, and then you start moving as if it's already a fact. You act it into existence.
This just shatters the myth of the hero, doesn't it? Legends aren't born without fear. They're born terrified, just like the rest of us. The only difference is they move anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action while fear is screaming in your ear to stop. And finally, we have to face the hard reality of this way of thinking. There's no victory lap. There's no finish line. Survival isn't a destination. It's a process. The moment one fight ends, you're already preparing for the next one. Peace isn't some gift you're given. It's a territory you have to wake up and defend every single day.
Look, we've all lost something. A person, a dream, a version of ourselves we thought we'd have forever. And while we were grieving, the world didn't stop for a second. It just kept spinning. So this whole mindset, it really boils down to one final, direct challenge for you. The world may have buried you. The question is, will you stay in that grave, or are you gonna dig your way out?